Today I'm talking with Dan and Jenn Digman. They are a couple of MS advocates who are also a couple. And we're going to talk about the MS journey and the MS patient advocacy space, all that. It's a whole bunch of things. And we're going to get into all that right now. Right now. What's going on, y'all? I'm Damien. I was diagnosed with MS a few years ago and have been making content about the disease ever since. If this is your first time here and you'd like to learn more about MS while laughing and gaining a sense of community, start by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss any updates. I'm here with Dan and Jenn Digman, and they are two MS advocates in the space, and they actually happen to be married. So you guys have found some love and marriage with MS? Do tell. How did this go? I'll put you on the spot right now.
Yeah. Oh no, you're good. Truly, this happened. We met. It was an MS event, and it was an event called "Finding Your Buried Treasure," and yeah, for real. And so when I showed up, you
Well,
talk.
I was one of the organizers because it was a National MS Society event. And this was 5 years after I was diagnosed with the disease. And I wanted to get involved with the society. And so we were doing this. And it was an event that was meant for women only. So when I see this cute man walk in, I thought he had to be someone's boyfriend or husband, but he actually was there by himself.
So you just showed up to the ladies MS event, Dan? You got it like that? You got the swag like that, my guy?
No, because here's the thing.
It's a great way to meet chicks.
I was gonna say I always say that I don't have MS. It's just a great way to pick up chicks. So because what had happened is they had sent out the meeting announcements, but they'd forgotten to put on the announcement that this was intended for women only. And so essentially, then because I self-help group, the society, the programs manager for the society had called me because they needed more men to show up to this event because men started registering. And so I said, sure, I'll go because, but it was about an hour and a half away from where I lived. But I went down and when I showed up, the programs manager was at the registration table and we're talking. And then she says, well, you know what? Why don't you go and sit over at that table because that's Jennifer's table and you both are younger and both lead self-help groups and you might have some things to talk about. And so I went and sat at Jennifer's table. And so as I'm waiting for her, I'm thinking, well, where is this Jennifer? And when she showed up, I said, oh, this is Jen. And I just the whole time, and I'm thinking I better bring my A game today because I wanted to impress this girl.
A+ game, my guy. A+.
A+.
Thank you.
He got the A+++ because he was super easy to talk to, and just I felt so comfortable. And we were talking probably the whole program, and then when it was over, we hung around and we talked, and I ended up giving him my phone number, and we stayed in touch. And so we started to just call on the phone and exchange emails and things like that.
Well, that's how it begins.
Oh, truly, it's like one thing because I live I ended up clocking it out like 101.3 miles away from where I live to where she was living with her parents. And we just started, I would go down there on the weekends and then we just would talk every night. And, one thing led to another. And I mean, quickly we were dating and then quickly you start talking about marriage.
So you got, oh no, go ahead, Jenn.
No, I mean, it was nothing more than I meet this cute man and he was really easy to talk to and I felt very comfortable with him. And I can be very honest, I had just started using a wheelchair 5-6 months before I met him. So I was a little uncomfortable, but I remember in not a creepy way, but the first day I met Dan, I needed help in the restroom, and he said I would help him or he would help me. And it wasn't creepy. It was
No.
more like, I have MS. I
Yeah.
understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
But thank goodness my mom was there and she helped me. But
Well, I think isn't that like the I want to say the beauty of the MS community is it's like we all get it. And so it's like it wasn't creepy because it's like, no, you knew somebody might need help. And so it just happened that I thought she was cute too and stuff. But no,
Mm,
like
mm.
yeah, it's like I was willing to help. So
That's kind of where this all sort of comes from, is that like people game recognize game in the community, and you know how tough it is to just show up. So the fact that one can show up and with another person who has the same disease, so that they might understand what we're going through in a similar way, even if it's not the same symptoms.
mhm.
It's they get the demon that we're up against. So
I,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So,
It's like we don't. I mean, she's got, secondary progressive MS. I have relapsing remitting MS, and there's just things that she has happened because the disease treats everybody differently.
mm,
Not that I understand totally things that she's going through, but I can relate on my own level because of stuff that we're going through. I mean, just things that you're going through. It's just like I
yeah.
don't know exactly, but I can relate and I totally understand.
So you guys were advocates even before the space. Like Jen, you were already there making this happen, and Dan was like,
yes.
"No, I got to kind of get this going." Like, where was that before you guys met, and has that sort of increased, or have you guys been a catalyst for each other?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's a partner in crime in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I want to do something, but I'm really tired and I can't do it, Dan will pick up the slack for me, or
Mm,
he will be the catalyst to encourage me to do it. And I was diagnosed with MS when I was 23. And so I got involved right away with the National MS Society because this was the dark ages of the 1990s, the late 90s.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of the information you couldn't trust it or it wasn't credible on the internet because that was kind of new at the time. So I had to trust the National MS Society.
Yeah.
I got really involved and I don't remember even a life before Dan. I just knew that I needed to be involved to share my story and meet other people. And fortunately, I met incredible people, including
Yeah.
Dan.
Including you. So now,
Hey,
how did you even get there, Dan? This is what I'm interested in, because everybody has something that leads them to a certain point and a certain place, and then they're like, "I'm doing this now," or "Something's got to shift. I will make it shift." So what were you doing even before you even came to that space? Like, were you recently diagnosed too, or like what?
I had been diagnosed. I was diagnosed with MS in 2000. I was 27 years old, and I
Mm,
think I got really involved with the MS Society from the outset because I needed the support. We didn't have the beauty, like Jennifer says, the dark ages of the internet, and so we didn't have social media groups. We didn't have Facebook communities. I mean, we had self help groups that we could go to, and so I actually then was approached by the society to start a self help group where I live
mm,
because they were lacking and they really wanted somebody there, and so I started that space, and then I think it just becomes that empowering thing where there's things that you can't control about the disease, and it's just
mm,
like the one thing you can do is get involved and
mm,
be an advocate, make your life better, make other people's lives better. And so I mean by starting the MS support group down in Alma, and then you just one thing leads to another, and then you start doing the MS walk,
mhm,
then you start getting
yeah,
asked to do more things like, would you like to attend Finding Your Buried Treasure? Because we need more men showing up. And,
mm,
and
mm,
then,
more positive men who
mm,
have good
mm,
attitudes and are dealing with their disease the best way they can.
mhm,
Dan really brought that positive voice because it was a program that was intended for women, but we needed that other, you know, we needed men, we needed to hear their stories, and Dan was comfortable sharing his.
Well, that's kind of even what leads this next question. Like normally, not normally, haha, usually or often when people are presented with such a serious thing as MS, if they are beginning a relationship, yeah, that relationship's over. Or, you know, the person is like, I'm here for you forever. I love you. Right. So, like, and you guys, you know, went on the I'm here forever, I love you type of thing. Like, how do you navigate that? How you're like, this person's at a different place in their MS than I am. You know, I don't even know if is my MS going to, you know, progress in this way. I don't know what's going on with me. So how am I going to give to someone else? Like, talk to me. Like, were you initially sort of like, because each of you had MS in your own respective ways? You're like, or were you like, let's go, I'm with it, baby?
I think we were both like, let's go. I'm with this. And just, I knew that I didn't want to not have him with me. And just, it's so easy to talk to him, and that he would make it easier for me. And I wish, and I hope that everyone living with the disease has a partner, or it doesn't have to be a husband or a wife, but just somebody that you can be really close with and talk about the realities, because this is tough disease to live with. This makes it a lot more bearable.
I remember.
Go ahead, please.
It's like we met in September, and I remember going back because I'm originally from Iowa and we live here in Michigan, and I had gone back to Iowa to be with my family at Thanksgiving. And I mean, you know, it's just the honesty thing. It's just like I fell in love when I met her, and it's like I met her on a Saturday. I went into the office on Monday morning, and the guy I work with, he says, "How was your weekend?" And I said, "Well, Stacy, I met the woman I'm going to marry, and you're going to be the best man at my wedding."
You heard what I said, my guy.
And Stacy was the best man at our wedding. I mean, and he gave a toast where he said that exact story. So,
But it's like that happened in, you know, September. I went back to Iowa for Thanksgiving, and so I had that whole drive back to and from Iowa just to think, is this really? Am I really going to want to get in, you know, seriously long haul relationship with this woman with the secondary progressive MS? I've got relapsing remitting MS. She's in a wheelchair, and it's just like, is this really going to happen? It's just like, it's like, hell yeah, we can do this together. I mean, it's just like, because I knew she was in it for the long haul too. It's like, this isn't something we could take individually. It's like we need each other, and that's
and it's just that cheesiness, but together we're stronger.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's the friendships that we've made, you know, with other people living with the disease, and I think our relationships with our family is stronger. Just if you can be honest that this is a crappy disease at times, but there are really, yeah, obviously really good things that can come out from it.
Yeah, no, yes, there are good things that come out of it, and that's why I pause, because you see my eyes are getting sweaty. This is one of the good things that have come out of it for me. I wouldn't trade anything I'm doing in this space for the world, and that means at some point I have to pick up the MS if I'm going to keep going and keep continuing this journey. And I don't know if I would pick it up enthusiastically, but I'd pick it all up just the same, just because of the people out here, just because of the relationships that I have out here, just because of the fast friendships that I have out here. You get to start at like if all friendships start out here, if you both have some form of MS, You start out here, and super best friends are like right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And,
it's just a quick thing, you know?
and we often say that we didn't start living until we got diagnosed with MS. It puts your stuff in line, it puts your priorities in perspective, and you want to preserve your health as long as possible. And if your health hits the fan, you're gonna have to figure out how to do it. And you know what's important. And I think that that's why relationships are so valuable.
Absolutely. That's even kind of why I wanted to have you guys here and talk about relationships and dating and advocacy, like all of these things, because this is what you're living. This is what you do. This is what you know, and you know the strength that a relationship with that partner who will give you the room to be you. You know what the strength of that does to you and for you, because this life is already tough enough. Just the fact that something like that is available is will help you continue to be better. Has the relationship like even evolved? Because now it's like, are you like the Wonder Twins now? Like you just combine your powers and be better than each of you individually? Like,
Well, and not to be selfish, but I think that the relationship has evolved because the disease has evolved. You know, 15 years ago, I could just like I could put dishes in the dishwasher. I'm not able to do that. I can't open my hand as well. Dan used to run and he doesn't do that. So our relationships have to evolve. We have to meet each other where we're at, and thank God that Dan's here and I'm here for him as that happens.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's like total evolution. I mean, where we are today, I mean, it's a lot like the disease. Because yeah, I used to be able to run, but things change, and you have to reevaluate where you are, what's your priority, and you yeah, and so I think it's really when all is said and done, I mean, she's my priority. Our relationship is our priority, and that's where it's not. It's a shared relationship in that we don't. They always say like for as much as I'm her caregiver, she's my caregiver too, and I think there's that
100%.
misnomer that because she's in a wheelchair, all of a sudden I'm the superstar. It's like actually no. I mean, it's just like we have that shared relationship. I mean,
You're a
there's
man. You can't come. You can only get but so far, baby.
Well, and it's just the reality. I mean, simple things like today, and I hate it when people tell me I look tired. I'm like, what's up? But I told Dan, I'm like, oh, baby, you look tired. And I said, let's order takeout tonight. Don't worry about cooking. Just take it easy. And he was like, I needed to hear that. So, simple things like doing that, or, do we have to go to this event tonight? Or, I think that where I can be his caregiver because sometimes Dan will be like, go, go, go. And he needs permission, if that's the right word, just to take a breather and take the time to self-care.
well, and I think that's where I don't do a good job with that. But I mean, Jennifer, because she has her caregivers during the day while I'm working, but it's like I don't have to clean the house. I don't have to go shopping that stuff
Mm,
for caregiver. But that way then I have the energy at night that I can do what I need to do as her caregiver. And so it's a total shared relationship.
absolutely. Like I cook most of the food. I do most of the dishes. I clean most of the house. So like sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I love you and everything, babe, but I'm just gonna sit right here and just be on my computer or like something, just to get that energy back.
Yep.
So if you have an alternate person on the team to lift that weight, then
Mhm.
you get to be with yourselves in a whole nother way. Another reason why I wanted you guys here is because people find this channel when they're recently diagnosed,
Yes.
and they sort of they subscribe because they like my energy and they like my feel. And I think I don't even know the question I want to ask you. It's like somebody is newly diagnosed. They're watching this channel. What do you tell somebody that's recently diagnosed? I think you both will say different things. And that's, could you please answer individually and then collectively? Y'all could do that. You're a couple.
Yeah,
Nice.
I would say that if you are recently diagnosed or newly diagnosed, now is a good time to be diagnosed. I was diagnosed, Dan was diagnosed back in the Stone Ages when there were three disease modifying therapies.
Mm,
And look at what's available now. And I'm living with secondary progressive MS now. And 15, 18 years ago, there was no treatment for that.
mm,
I'm on medicine now.
mm.
So I think that now is a good time, if ever there is a good time to be diagnosed with MS. So embrace that and do what you can to stave off the disease. If that means diet and like watch what you eat and get exercise. And damn it, I wish I would have walked more. So walk as much as you can. That's from somebody using a wheelchair.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a pause in this, Dan, because we're gonna get to you here. But like, no, that's what I say too, Jen. I say, man, I'm glad I got diagnosed, after 2012 and not
Mhm.
in, 1998. Or like, like there's so many of my friends who were just diagnosed at another point in time and had
Yeah,
a different set of options available. So if there's never a time to get diagnosed with MS, but now's the time, baby.
now's the time. Be
So,
thankful.
yeah.
What about you, Dan? Like, so what would you tell someone who was recently diagnosed?
I always tell people believe it. It's scary. We can't sugarcoat that. It is scary, and the getting used to it, the understanding. It's like get the information, but it's like believe in yourself. I always say believe in yourself, but don't give the disease more credit than it deserves. It's like and surround yourself with positive people and people who will let you be angry, but don't live there. Don't live in the anger. It's like turn your anger into something else and grow with it and take more control. It's like we say, oh well, we is MS our life? Well, sure, we do advocacy, we do blogging, we everything like that, but that's our conscious choice because we want to help others, we want to help ourselves. And so then for somebody who's newly diagnosed, it's like be angry, but be empowered. Move forward and don't wallow in it. What are you going to do today? And I mean, and obviously, yeah, it depends on what your abilities. I used to run. I don't run anymore, but I find other things to do to
Mm,
to find
mm,
like rewarding things in life. And so it's like find the things that fulfill you. And so
And I'm surprised that Dan didn't say, but it's one thing that I've always lived by. And after he told me, he's like, "You are the same person that you were yesterday. The day
mm,
before you were diagnosed,
mm,
you woke up, you got a diagnosis, but you're
mm.
still that same person. And don't let this disease overtake your personality and who you are. Move forward, and just believe in yourself, like he said."
because I told that is because it was like the I mean, for you, Damien, I mean, do you remember the day you were diagnosed?
Oh yeah, like
And
yeah.
I remember Valentine's Day 2000. It's like and cried, sobbed, hated it, and just it was so scary. And it was just like, but then I remember getting up that next morning. I was out in the kitchen making coffee, and it's like, yeah, I have MS, but nothing has changed about me. I'm still the same person I was yesterday. So how are you going to move forward with that and be strong because you've got the diagnosis? Now it's up to you to be strong and move forward. And the thing is like don't put that all on yourself. And that's why I say surround yourself with positive people who can help you share the load, move forward. And that's why I've got my number one supporter right here. It's just like,
No, it's really, really, really what it's all about. Whatever way is the way forward, that's what you do. And a lot of times there's a large gap between what you see others doing and then where you physically are, particularly if you got diagnosed at an earlier time period before there were all the drugs.
Mhm.
There's some shade that people who were diagnosed a while ago throw at even cats like me, or throw at people who are like, oh, you recently got diagnosed, oh, you're lucky, oh, you got all the drugs. And it's just like, well, yeah, but I have multiple sclerosis.
yes.
Am I lucky?
No, it's not that you're lucky. It's not that any of us are lucky. It's just it's just the reality that we all need to do what we can. Be mad at the disease, and this is a big thing. Like if I get really angry at the disease
Mm,
and I directed it, Dan, I'm
yeah,
not putting it where it belongs.
yeah.
And when I tell someone, "Oh, you're lucky you got drugs that I didn't have," like that's a bunch of baloney. I'm mad at the damn disease. It's got nothing to do with the people, you
like
know.
yeah, like just because I only got the ABC drugs available, excuse me, just because you had only the ABC drugs available,
Mhm.
I'm lucky because I got the $40,000 infusion. What?
No, you still got the stupid disease, and if you want to call that lucky, then I want a new definition of luck. That's a bunch of baloney. And again, we're so much stronger if we're not like picking at each other and saying, "Oh, you're so lucky you got new drugs."
Yeah,
Like we're just lucky that we all have this community with nearly 1 million people in it.
it's like folk folk just get to a point in the struggle with the disease, and like either they can't get past the symptom, or
Mhm.
this symptom is just it's here now and it stinks, and
Yeah.
I am not who I used to be. Like personally, like there are between my junior year of high school and like my like final year of college, there are people that only call me Dash, that crazy cat Dash, because that's what the hell I put out. There are people that didn't even know my name was Damien for years. And I only say that is because you show up as you are, how you are, and it evolves. It evolves accordingly, and that's
Mhm.
why couples like you are so great, because often people say, "Oh, I'm done for. Oh, I have this serious disease. Oh, nobody's ever gonna love me. Oh, woe's me." And then you even start sliding down more that path and playing that tiny little violin. And the music it plays gets louder and louder as you get older and older, and you get more seeped into that mindset of nobody's gonna love me, like all this mess. And not only have you guys, defied it, you have defined what it means to love yourself, what it means to care for yourself, what it means to care for someone else, what it means to care for someone else, even when that might be hard for you. How to care for someone else, even when they're going through some shit where you're like, "Ooh, boy, I'm glad that's not me. But I love you, baby. I'm gonna take care of you." You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think that's, where there are people who say, "Oh, well, we're lucky because we're married to somebody who has the disease, and we don't understand what they're going through." And it's just like, this didn't just happen. We got diagnosed with the disease, and then we showed up. We put ourselves out there, and so it's just
Yeah.
like you don't just stop and think. You have to be out there. You have to make the connections. You have to find the other people. They're not just going to show up at your door.
Yeah.
You make yourself available and put yourself out there
What
with.
if we hadn't have gotten to that finding your buried treasure event? You may never have met. You have to take advantage of the opportunities, and the disease is gonna try and slow you down, but you have to a certain extent, thumb your nose at it and say, try as you might, I need to move forward, whatever that looks like. If that's joining a support group online or going like looking at really cool like vlogs such as yours, you just find the people that will support you.
Yeah, I'm even putting a pin in this to be like, yes, moving forward. I think that's a big thing. That's why people watch this channel. But and maybe that's another part of what makes me resilient in the face of multiple sclerosis. To quote the name of the title of Brandon Bieber's new book, I'm able to stay resilient because the alternative is just to be right. Sure, I could be right. My knees don't work as well. Sure, I could be right. My vision doesn't work as well, or my fatigue is bigger than I've always known it to be. Sure, you're right. Great. Are you happy? Hmm? And there's you guys are examples. I guess I'm an example of still finding joy and still finding purpose and sort of taking the things that life has given you and then make something else out of it. Like I didn't think about this vlog. I didn't know I would be knowing cool kick-ass people like you guys behind something like this. So it's important to just show up the best you can. And who knows, you might just even find love, baby.
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah, because I didn't go to this event looking for love. I mean, I went because it sounded empowering, and I wanted to have, some tools to like help me move forward because I'd only had the disease for a couple years, and so obviously I wasn't an expert on this. So what else can I learn to get to that next point?
Mhm.
Little did I know that she would show up, and um,
No, in that
yeah,
vein, like would you say something? What would you say to somebody that's either single and sort of in their like wormhole of like, oh, I got to use this device now. Oh, I got this janky walk now. Oh, like and just piling on that and like, yeah, you was not gonna get a partner like that, my guy or my gal. Like we got to find some of this warmth in here and it don't matter what you look like. The person that you are talking about is going to be attracted to that warmth.
Yeah, and I would say to anyone, like, give me I'll give you $100,000 if you find a person that isn't dealing with something. Everybody has got something. We've all got baggage. And so my baggage is a wheelchair and a chronic illness. But there's so much more to me and there's so much happiness to be had.
Mm,
And so I just feel like everybody's going through something.
mm.
And, you know, he's really cute. And so that's like somebody that's so perfect to be with, and I enjoy spending time with. So
well, yeah. It's just, I mean, we don't. I mean, you think about it. I mean, life changes. And you talk
mhm.
about people that don't know you as Dash. Is that what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, but it's like I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Or, thank God I'm not the same person I was in college or in high school. I mean, because that would never translate to 2020. You
Mm,
know, like we always are changing. So because, I no longer run or I can't feel my hands or I can't walk as well as I used to, that's who I am today. So I can't expect
mm,
everybody from the past to love me
mm,
still because
mm,
times change. And so you have different needs, different interests. And so, you find the people who love you for who you are that way. I mean, and the strong people of the past. I'm just kind of rambling, but it's just like it's the people of the past. The people that stick with you and they truly love you for who you are. They're not going to care. They're going to support you just as much, if not more. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. Like when you do the MS walks and you do the bike MS events and you get your family and your friends who show up for those things, who support you, who donate, they're the people who get it. And those are the people you surround yourselves with. So
Yeah.
Mm, mm. It's what's resonating with me is the idea of just showing up. And I think that's one of the toughest things to do in life in general, let alone have a disease like MS. Because showing up when you have a disease like MS is your history with MS and the history of the drugs that you tried and didn't work or did work or gave you bad side effects, or the fad diet that's going to cure you, and you're
Yeah.
going through all this stuff, man. And even if you try to show up as your best, you can easily be inundated and put down and crushed by the weight of what life with this disease is. And what is most important, again, we come back to it, is just being not only just being yourself, but understanding what you are and who you are, and then
Yeah.
taking it from there. And that's going to be the light that attracts the moth of your love, to speak
Yeah.
metaphorically.
yeah.
But you this is so the disease is not fun. It's not easy. It's not cool. I can tell you everything that it's not. I can tell you that I make sure that I'm my best self as often as I can.
Mhm.
And that's not something I would know that I would necessarily do if I was 100% healthy.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you look like you was about to say something. Go ahead,
No,
say it.
I feel the same way that if it were not for the disease, I don't think that I would appreciate myself the way I am. And I wouldn't realize how strong I am. It's really easy to be like, oh, the disease is horrible and I'm so tired and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
weak and I'm this and I'm so that. But at the top of anything, you are so strong. And if you can realize that about yourself,
Mm,
that you
mm.
mean to live with a chronic illness is no cakewalk. And we're beat, we're tough, and that is something we need to appreciate.
And I think that's where you talk about being your best self. And I think that's where, you don't compare yourself to other people living with the disease. I think, and that was a great lesson that running gave me, is like I knew I was not going to go and enter races and win the races. So that's where running became very much
Mm,
your setting personal records,
mm-hmm.
personal
Mm-hmm.
best time at this course, at that course. So, there's other people with MS who are still running.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for me to compare anymore. So it's like, what is my best? And I think that's where, there's the sense of when you're living with the disease and say, oh, I'm not good enough. There's other people who are doing more. And it's just like, if we all can agree that the disease affects everybody differently, then don't compare yourself to
Yeah.
other people. Compare yourself to what did I do today? Maybe not as much as I did yesterday, but I didn't have this going on yesterday. So what did I do today that was my best? And so that's the things, like, look to yourself and do the self-care and compare yourself to you.
You guys, that's basically it. That's it in a nutshell. Because no matter what, your disease is not going to look like anybody else's disease. No matter what, you are going to be better on some days than not. And frankly, no matter what, you might be feeling like a shell of your former self for
Right.
quite some time. And uh, the space that's in between, oh, I don't feel like my normal self,
Yeah.
and I'm my best self ever, all the time. The gap that's in that, it's on you, man. That's on you to find. Maybe it's the diet, maybe it's the exercise, maybe it's the supplement. I don't know what it's going to be. And a lot of the questions I get on my channel are like, oh, this worked for you, will it work for me? Oh my goodness, you said that this thing was good, so I just ordered a whole bunch. And I'm like, slow down, I told you I would let you know how it is. I just needed to make a vlog because I made a commitment to myself to put these vlogs here. Look, you guys, I could talk to you forever, and that's
feel like
kind
you
of the
might
reason. Yeah, no, this is the reason why you're here. Um, you've already said a bunch of cool, good stuff already. Um, love, advocacy, like what's the next thing for you guys? You guys just came back from Washington, right?
Yes. And nothing is better than sharing your story
Mm,
and with government officials
mm,
who actually care and can do stuff about it.
mm,
And that's really empowering because, like I've told you several times, I don't walk, I can barely use my right hand, but I am strong enough to tell my story, make a difference that way. And so that's why Dan and I both really get a charge out of advocacy. And we like to meet people that do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's just the empowering. It was like we had virtual MS day at the
mm,
Capitol here in Michigan.
mm,
So at the
mm,
Capitol, but we all did it through the computer. But we had a virtual meeting with a state representative and a state senator. And when you have this great conversation, and you put it out on Twitter, thanking the representative, thanking the senator for their time and everything, just to be present social media wise and stuff, to say thank you. But then when they return the tweet and say, thank you, and looking forward to working with you, and you're thinking that there's somebody that your story connected with.
mm,
And I think that's the beauty of advocacy
mm,
in terms of sharing your story, because that's what resonates more than the bills per se. The legislators already know the bills. They want to hear your story and bring why this bill is important to
mm,
life, so
mm,
that they remember you, and so then hopefully they remember it through us, through our story. And I think
mm,
that's why we blog, why we put things on YouTube, why we're present on social media. It's because it's our stories
mm.
that help others to inspire themselves, or to share their stories to inspire us.
Yes.
That's the only reason, not the only, it's the main only reason these days why I continue to even make video. I used to set out to make video of a certain type in a certain way.
Mhm.
And then it started to become my MS videos were my most popular videos. And it's like, well, I don't want to be the MS guy. That's not fun. MS is not fun. Am I really going to make this my singular focus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just the most important thing. Wherever you find yourself, just be there and then see if there's the next better thing you could do. Maybe if not
Mhm.
today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next, whatever. Just incrementally get a little better. You will
Right.
look back and be like, whoa, I did all that? Whoa, I don't think at the start of this journey I would not have. I don't
Yeah.
think I would have been this far at the start of this journey because I was still poo pooing myself or poo pooing
Mhm.
other people who have, pers- who what I perceive them having something that I currently do not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, yeah, we're missing the boat here. We each have this thing eating our brain and our spine. It's horrible for everybody. Step one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Step two, what you gonna do?
Yes.
And
And
that's what brings people like you guys and me together. Cause we just always, not always, we worked to just take what we have and then move forward. Whatever our reason was for moving forward, whatever your reason was, Jen, for going to the MS walk, whatever your reason was, Dan, for going to the MS walk. I knew you knew they were light on guys, but it's definitely not like you were running up in there like, yo, I'm gonna come up to this MS event luncheon and get cruise me for some chicks. You know what I'm saying? But you show up as your best self, and then it evolves from there. And just like this channel, like I just showed up making videos as my best self, and now it evolves from there. And that's one thing that I would really, really, really hope to leave with people, and to lead with, that I don't got it figured out. Dan and Jen don't got it figured out. The doctors don't got it figured out.
No.
However, you got it figured out how you can be that much better today, or different, or more broad, or more kind, or like whatever it is. You know what you need to do to incrementally grow.
Yeah.
And then you put that all together, and it might seem small at the time, but then you sort of turn back around and like, whoa, I did that, and when I started, I would have had some words for somebody who's where I am right now. And I don't have any words for me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it is the time, it goes by so quickly. I can't believe I've been living with this disease for almost half of my life, but it goes. And that's why you have to enjoy every moment and find something to make it worthwhile and to be present in every moment because it will go quickly. And I guess that's one thing I would tell someone who's newly diagnosed is just like savor every moment that you have.
What you say, you? I'm pointing at you, Dan.
Yeah,
Cause
okay. For me, and Jennifer says often, she's like, "Oh, you never complain."
mm,
I've got plenty to complain about, but you've seen what this disease can do, and I
mm,
always feel that, yeah, it sucks today,
mhm.
but will I wake up tomorrow morning and have something worse? And then I'll wonder, what the hell was I complaining about the day before?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, my hands are always numb. I think that's, and I type, I write for a living, and I can't feel the keys. But then I really, after I was diagnosed, I'm saying, well, I can't feel the keys, but I just need to have my hands in the right position, and I'll type. That's fine, and it's just like, I can't complain, and it's just like, if I'm tired, yeah, I take time and just stop, and then you rest, you get your energy back, and then you move forward. And I think that's our problem. Even after 23, 21 years living with the disease, I push myself to where I
Mm,
can't go any further,
mhm,
and
mhm,
I don't pace myself,
mhm,
for better or worse.
mhm.
Some days I make it through and don't burn myself out or don't become crabby. Other days it's just like, you're just like, okay, yeah, that was too much. Just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's something that Jen said. I forget what it is now, but it was, shoot, what both of you guys just resonate. It's like, hey, this is meh, and a lot of the, I'll just say dark. A lot of the darkness comes from what you were, or what you've always known to be, the status quo or the normal, like what you've known things to be, and they're not that anymore.
No.
And I'm not going to say that's okay, but I am going to say you're okay.
Yeah.
So, how can we go? What is the best thing we can do today? And even if it's only a small thing, I guarantee if you do small things for a couple months, you're going to have a big thing eventually.
Mhm.
And that's what this channel does for me. And who knows what, there's so people leave the commentary that they like my energy, and they like how committed I am to the posting schedule, like all this stuff. But it's like, yo, I'm mean. And I've taken this time over this course of videos to unlearn what I think you want. And no, you just want me. So this is what
And
I'm gonna talk about today.
yes, and that authenticity is what we all need to remember. It's like I could try and be Dan Digman, but that's not who I am. My MS is different. So I'll just be me and hope that Dan and I complement each other, which we do.
Which
And
you do so well.
oh, well, I know. I mean, and that sounds arrogant and cocky, but dang it, I'm happy about that. That's what makes me happy. If there's one thing that I know I do good, it's to be Dan's wife and vice versa. And
Look, what do you say, Dan? What do you do well?
I don't use good English either.
I make good pancakes.
Man,
no,
I'm with that.
Yeah.
no,
Cook it up, baby.
What do I do well? Ask Jennifer what I do well.
Yep. What does he do well, Jennifer? I'm not asking you nothing no more. Dan, what does he do well?
Yeah.
He has really strong faith and he has strong conviction. So he is just really just strong in that way. And he's goofy.
Well, what do I do well? I'm fair. And I think I'm a fair person, and that's. But yeah, and I'm happy. I'm easygoing, but yeah, I have convictions, and there's just things. More often than not, I think I see things from all different perspectives, and that could be a good or a bad thing. But at the end of the day, then I find what I want, what I need, and make it happen.
Look, you guys, again, I'm just gonna hit stop recording because I don't know how long this vlog is. I know it's over what the time limit that I wanted.
We should have made
No.
shorter.
Well, the point of that is the spirit that you guys have, and the joy and the space, the shared space of understanding and knowing what it is to want something, but then only be capable of a fraction of that, and either letting go that want or saying I'm going to get there fraction by fraction. That's why I'm like, yo, thank you for giving me your time, Dan and Jenn. You see, I had to think about that. Not Jan and Den. I'm sorry, you guys. We were talking about it before, and I mix syllables. That's another thing that I do. Anyway, even before the MS, you guys have given me your time, and you've continued to be a light to other folk out there with MS and who are maybe not at their best self right now, and they're in a poo-poo place. And trust me, it stinks in the poo-poo place. I know. I'll be in there sometimes. I walk too far. And now I'm like, it's hot. I'm in the poo-poo place. I don't want to get home. Like, it's there, you guys. But showing up in this space is an important thing to me. Clearly, it's important to Dan and Jenn. And just showing up as the best you can, however you can, and whatever that may look like, is key, especially when your best does not look like you have known it historically to be, and you giving yourself the space and, as I say, the grace to let that be. And then perhaps you'll evolve tomorrow, perhaps you'll evolve next week, perhaps you won't at all, but you're already fine with it. You have to be fine with where you are in order to get where you think you might want to go, or a better place than you thought you would go. Because this channel, come on, man, I didn't plan on any of this. I didn't know any of this. The only thing was just show up, just show up, just show up. And it was literally like my 75th some odd video. I need to figure out which one's precisely. My like 60 something video that people watched the MS stuff. And so that means that I literally showed up 60 plus times before getting a little nudge from the universe, and then going back to my old thing, and then be like, no, I'm fine. And then the universe again is like, no, bro, this is what you're gonna do. So lean into it. And I say all those words to be like, you guys, if you're at a point right now and you're like, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
just
it-
lean into it and
Just lean into it, buddy. And if you're like, I'm gonna do it next month, then you better do it next month. If you're like, I'm gonna do it in an hour, well then you better do it in an hour. And if you don't, cool.
yeah.
Try again. That's it and that's all. And having a good partner helps you do that. You guys are awesome. Where can people find your advocate love MSy self?
At a couple takes on ms.com.
Couple takes on ms.com. That's what we need. That's it and that's all. A treasure, both of you.
Well, thank you, and vice versa. We think the world of you. So thank you for yeah.
No, it's always a pleasure. I mean, you're so incredible. I mean, just your voice, just your well, like you said, your attitude, your positivity, your energy, but your realness. I mean, you don't. I think that's the thing. You don't sugarcoat it. It's like this is real. But how do you move forward? And so that you're moving forward as you do, saying, dang, yeah, he's a great guy.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and thank you for coming here and talking with the viewers about love and life and all that stuff with a little MS sprinkled on top. Anything else you want to say, or I'm gonna do a K bye. The last thing you want to get in here?
No,
I don't think so, unless there's something else you need from us.
Oh no, we good. I'm just gonna be like K bye.
okay.
So yeah.